Good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Chapman here. Welcome back to the weekly Wednesday morning Vibe Talks. And today, again, not really sure what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to start talking and see where it takes us. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty decent myself this week. Just, things are going alright. And not perfect, but, never is, obviously. And, yeah. I think, things are turning around soon. Most of Ontario is vaccinated now. And I think, I think we're just gonna end up being out of this whole pandemic in a few month or two, pretty much basically out of it. Still probably have to wear masks and all that, but whatever. I mean, I'm fine to wear a mask if I can at least go and do stuff this summer. I'm gonna be working most of the summer, right? And all of next year too, because I'm graduated pretty much now. I'm gonna be in a week and a half, so Like, yeah, it's not like I'm gonna want to spend all my time just going to work and then coming home. I'm gonna want to do some stuff, right? Luckily, this summer my job is I think it's just under or just over 40 hours a week. Which obviously I've worked more than that before. It's 40 hours a week's about normal, standard. But I'm fine with that, just under whatever, because let's be honest, fuck working 60 hours a week is not fun. Did it a few summers ago, and it was just not great. Yeah, you make bank, but it's not worth it in that case, unless you absolutely need to, which, it is what it is. If that's your kind of thing, go for it. I mean, I'm not gonna judge you or anything. It's just, like, not my cup. I'm not saying, I'm not gonna try to, sound, lazy or anything. Just, let's be honest, would you prefer to be at home or working? Straight up. Or, hanging out with your friends or being at work? Personally, I'd be more down hanging out with my friends and family than being at work. So, I don't know. Yeah. So, I don't even know. It's been a weird couple of days, I guess. Not I'm not busy, but I'm doing school, but not really. I'm basically done. But I feel like I'm busy, but I'm not. If that makes any sense. It's just been a weird couple of days. I'm not really sure. And, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who's felt like that, or if you guys have or not. I don't know. But on a happy note, I'm gonna be, I don't know. I'm gonna be probably buying a car this summer. I was gonna buy one a few years ago, when I was working the 60-hour weeks. And I was working at this restaurant, and I liked the people I worked with. They were good people. But the owner slash boss, yeah, he was a guy you'd sit and have a beer with, for example, but he was not, a good person to work for, in that way. At least the way I saw it, you're nice enough dude, but not great to work for. But basically, after I was working, and then the one night I was gonna go buy a car, and it was $2,000, but it was certified, right? So it was gonna be pretty great. It came with extra wheels and everything, or tires. So it's great deal, right? So it's about to go. It was off a couple. It was about basically where I'm going to work now, that area. It was about 40 minutes away, and I was gonna go get it, and then as soon as I was about to leave the house, the guy calls, or not calls, but he texts me. He's like, "Yo, can we push it back? Something came up." I'm like, "Okay, sure." A few days later, I'm like, "Yo, so we doing this?" Blah blah. He's like, just let me wait for till I get my work schedule." I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll give a few days, right?" A couple days later, texted him, nothing. Waited a few more days, texted him, nothing. He never answered me. And I was like, "Shit. Well, guess I'm not getting a call." And after that, shortly after, I just saved the money. I was like, okay, maybe he'll message me back. And after that, I got really pissed off at my boss. He constant. This was I worked at that place for over a year. And he kept building it up more and more and pissing me off, right? And just, saying, basically doing illegal stuff. Let's be not, gross or anything. He just, screwed me on my pay and, sometimes, screwed me on my tax return. I actually ended up owing money, which was fucking bullshit, to be honest. I hate that. And yeah, basically, under 18 in Ontario, you're supposed to make all your money back that you got taxed, right? And I was under 18. I was like 15 or 16, right? And I think, yeah, 16. So G1, I was going for my G2, but COVID hit. Like, I was going to go get it in a few months, but I wanted to have a car and being ready to go, right? And yeah, so I got the one check alone. I was going camping at the end of the summer, right? And so I was gonna be off for a week, right? So they decided to work me as much as they could in that 2 weeks before, which I understand. Like, you're not gonna be there for a week, might as well get your hours out of me, right? I was open to close every day for 2 weeks. So, basically 11 to 12-hour days for 2 weeks. And actually, the one was a 14 or 15-hour day because it was fucking Labor Day, like that weekend, right? So, they opened like stupid late for some reason. Either way, I put in over 150 hours that week. I know that. But it was probably like 160 even. Like, so basically a whole week, but like over a 2 week period. Like, I know it sounds like very unrealistic and it's like, oh, Draft Man, you're exaggerating. Not really. Maybe a little, but not much. I mean, I was literally getting up, going to work, coming home, and going to bed. Basically, that's about it. Luckily, I worked at a restaurant, so I got food, but the boss didn't like us if we didn't pay for it. I'm like, bitch, I don't get a single break through the day unless it's dead ass slow, and even then, probably not because I have to help out with other stuff. I was like 5 different jobs there, but whatever. Either way, I that. So I worked a crap ton, right? And minimum wage at the time was 13.15 for students, right? So so I was supposed to probably make almost $2,000 on that check. I made $991. I was like, where the fuck did the rest of it go? And he's like, oh, blah blah blah, bullshit excuse. I don't even remember. And yeah, so he's like, oh, you get a new tax return. My tax return was $737 for the whole year, right? I was like, what? The one check alone, I got taxed like 600 or 700 at least, right? And I was like, bruh. So, fuck, I don't even know anymore. But that's in the past. Can't, whatever, If anything, it's better on me for sticking it out for so long because it was a shit job. But, it's a job, so. That restaurant's not even open anymore. After I quit, basically a lot of other people's like, oh yeah, fuck this, and they quit too. So, yeah. I'm sorry about going off about shitty ass, past jobs and stuff. It's kind of boring to talk about. So, on a happier note, this job, I'm working at Provincial Park, like I said, and I'm maintenance and stuff, cleaning bathrooms, all that usual crap, right? Driving around a bunch. I started on the 28th, so in 12 or 13 days, I can't remember. Yeah, that's not that bad. I think it's gonna be a decent enough job. I'm not gonna make a ton because I'm gonna be spending a lot getting to work on gas and insurance and all that. But hey, it is what it is, right? So, I feel like that's fine. And then, at the end of the summer, I'm also basically my last day I think is Labor Day, so it's like a contract day. I'm like the 28th to Labor Day, and after that, I'm going camping for a week with my family, which, work all summer at a campground and go camping. It's going to be cool. Not actually, but it is what it is, right? I still love camping, so I'll definitely be down to go. And yeah, then I think what's it called? Fuck. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Fuck. I feel like Biden right now, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be good. I feel I'll be pretty well off at that point. I'm gonna basically make enough to buy my car, which will be good. I can't wait to have one, eh? And oh yeah, so what I was gonna say before is I was gonna buy the car, and then I quit. I was like, fuck, okay, I got this money. What am I gonna do with it? And then my buddy was selling his basically his cousin has a snowmobile, same as his, a 1991 Yamaha Phaser, great sled by the way, and it was destroyed. It was beaten up. It was had a really hard life, eh? And my buddy, he had the same sled basically, but in better shape obviously, and he bought it off his cousin for $300 or $400, and he fixed it quite a bit. And like, him and his dad put a lot of time into it. I put some time into it even. Like, I was there for some of it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. So I gave him like about $900, I think, maybe 1,000. And it probably wasn't worth it at the time, but whatever. But it's not a big deal now, especially. I mean, it wasn't then even, but so yeah, I paid it, and that was good. It was good for a few months. Just checked out. I left at his house because he lives in the same street as I do. Left on his house for a few months. It was like shit. It was August, I think. And November ish. It started snowing here, so we just did wait till about November. And after that, I did. We brought home. I probably shouldn't have brought home that day, but I did. And like, probably wasn't my smartest decision, but because like it snowed that day. It was pretty much pavement on the road. Like, it was a skiff of snow on the side. So I got home though, about a kilometer drive almost. But I fucking got it home, and she ran great for the first month and a bit or two. Like, never gave me an issue. Sometimes fouled the spark plug or whatever. So I was like, you tell it might have been going. And then I went to my brother a few times because I'm a nice guy. And the one night, it just, the time I blamed him, but it's just dumb luck. I mean, it happens, right? Yeah, he came back home. He's like, dude, I owe you an engine. Your sled blew up, blah, 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 right? And I was like, okay, I handled it pretty well, I'd say, at the time. But, like, basically, so yeah, that was, November to January. I got, like, the middle of January, I think. And then it was over, right? Whatever. And I still have the sled. It's great now. But the same friend, him and his dad were working. Like, they worked at like a construction company. Like, his dad worked there, and he worked there in the summer. And basically, they were working for this one guy, and he had phaser engines, and he used to race phasers. And they saw, like, he's like, yo, you guys, he somewhat knew them. He's like, yo, you got phaser, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you want an engine? And then he immediately thought about me, and he's like, yeah, like, sure. So he took the engine for free, and then they gave it to me for free, which is like, dude, that's like a $500 engine right there, right? So that's like a really nice thing to do. I still, to this day, I'm appreciative for it, like, and yeah, like, it's good. I'm, basically brand new. Like, we brought it to my house, did a compression test on it, had 120 in each cylinder. It's 2 strokes of 2 cylinders, right? And for a Yamaha, that's basically exactly what you want it, right? 120 psi in each cylinder. And yeah, like, so it took quite some time to get it in. Like, my brother knew, like, me and my brother both knew limited amounts. Like, he knew more than I did with small engines, but I knew a decent amount of big engines. I was working for GM for co-op during school just before COVID, and but like, basically, me and my brother figured it out, and mostly him, but I helped. And now I know what I'm doing. I'm a bit older. It's good now, right? And we spent a few months waiting for it to like get less. I don't even remember. I think it was like, I don't know. But he's a plumber. He's super busy all the time, right? Especially if you're in college country, right? He's fucking busy like every day. Which I do. This week alone, I think I saw him like once. Like he was home for like one night. He does hang out with his girlfriend a lot, but either way. So we got partly in, and then basically, so I cleaned up the engine, I cleaned out the gunk and stuff, like, because it was staying for a while. Then we took out the old one from my sled, like, we took out half of it when it blew up, and then we took out the rest after, like, when we got the new one. And then we decided, like, well, because it wasn't quite full engine that we got, but it was close, like, it was most of it, but, like, and we took a lot, like, everything out of my sled, like, out of the engine, and salvaged what we could, which was basically the bottom end of the engine, which is what we needed mostly, like parts of it. So once we got it all put together, like all the old parts we could salvage and put them on the new one, we had a full engine. It was good, eh? And so we got put in, sort of. A couple weeks passed, right? And then, because it was like the fall, right? So water off season for them, like they gotta shut down all the colleges and all that, right? And we basically, what's it called? We, one night we put it in, right? And I think it was just snowing at that time, like the first few snowfalls, right? So, I was itching to get out, right? I was dying to get out, right? And we got it in, like, we finally got the engine in properly, mounted it down and all that, and, like, attached everything that we could, and we tried to fire it up, right? Didn't quite go. So, okay, it's been sitting for a while. This engine hasn't had any liquids in it for probably 20 years. Not 20, like 10 maybe, right? And so we put some gas down the cylinders, which is, so it helps, like, it's a combustion engine, right? So, like, it helps spark it. And we did that, pulled it a few times, like, somehow my electric stopped working, but anyways, we pulled it a few times, and it fired. Well, like, it was running. It sounded like shit, but it was running, right? I'll try and play, like, the audio at some point. Not today, I don't think I have it right now. Like, it's on my old phone. I'll try and figure that out. I'll put, like, a thing in there. And it just sounded like it was running, right? You could see it had strong, like, the light is a good indicator. It's not the original headlight, I got a light bar, right? And it used to flicker sometimes. It was fucking strong. It was a strong, like, glow. And you'd think the light would come from the battery like it does on a car, but on the old two-strokes, they come from the engine, right? By the way, it was going real strong, and I was so happy. And then we shut it off and did it again. First pull. Straight. First pull went, right? And we're like, sweet. The next morning, before school, I tried to pull it a few times, like, show off at the bus stop, because it's at the end of my street, at the end of my, like, driveway, basically, and a lot of people go to mine. And I was trying to pull, and I was like, fuck, why would you start? Blah, blah. And I gave it a few tries, and it wouldn't go. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for my brother. And then when I called him up, and he said, okay, we'll look at it when I get home, which we did. And then we found out we couldn't figure it out. And then the next day, we came back and looked at it with it was the morning, it was like Saturday morning. We were looking at it. I remember it was cold that morning, like it was like minus 15, minus 20. It was not a fun morning to work on a sled, but whatever. And we were looking at it, and we realized we forgot to attach the cord for the primer. And, like, yeah, like, so basically the primer, you prime it a couple times, it gets the gas going through the tubes, right? And I was like, fuck, like, so we did that, it fired right away. I was like, oh my god, like, sweet, right? First pull, like, you prime it 1, 2, pull, first pull, and it's been like that ever since. First goddamn pull, and it's been amazing this season. But yeah, I was like, fuck yes, I'm gonna ride it, right? And then my brother was like, we're missing a bolt. And he, like, you can see my engine, like, shaking a bit more. And I was like, what? And, like, one of the motor mounts, so it keeps the engine in, right? I was missing the 2 bolts for it. Actually, 3, I guess. And so my brother's like, you definitely, like, don't ride it like that. Like, you let idle, but don't ride it, right? And I was like, okay. So we ordered them, but COVID made everything backordered. So it was about 3 weeks later. I think it was the start of December, right? And we got the bolts finally. I got 2 of them on, but the one, like, was such a pain in the ass. It was in such a bad spot. Like, Yamahas, especially the phasers, are the hardest. Like, it's so hard to work on them in some ways. So easy in some. Basically, you need a 10 mil socket, and that's about it. But this one was in the worst possible spot it could have ever been. And I tried everything. I tried for a week. Eventually, I was about to give up and just like, fuck this, eh? But then the one day I was like, okay, I can do this. I stopped for a minute, got up, took a quick walk, like I walked to the end of my driveway, just like, kind of just like, okay, I got this, right? Came back one more try. Basically, the problem is it wasn't hard to get the bolt on itself. It was hard to get the thread because it was in such a shitty spot, right? You had to hold basically the nut because it was going up and down a lot. You couldn't really hold it in place with your hand, right? Because it was cold and it was all that. I was freezing, right? My hand, you're working on metal, your hands get so cold. All right, and so yeah, I grabbed a pair of vice grips, held the damn bolt as tight as I could, and I managed to slip the thing on the bottom of the bolt, and I got it finger tight, sort of. I got it on a few like spins, like with the other thing was just hard to get it going straight too, so you couldn't thread it on, right? I somehow got it on, right? I was like, oh my god, I was fucking cheating, and I was so happy. I managed to get it on. I basically took off the entire I took off the entire clutch, so I couldn't even drive the thing at that point because I was trying to open up more space, eh? But I got the bolt on, right? I was so happy, got it on, it was great. And, then I fired it up, and my engine wasn't shaking that much, right? So I was like, sweet, we're good. So I put my clutch back on, put the belt on, put the sides on, called my buddy up, we went for a lip, right? And I was so happy. It was like middle of this. No, I guess was it January? No, it was December. No. No, I guess it was January. It was January. So yeah, it's a bit off. We ordered the parts at the start of December, and they came in January, at the start of January. But yeah, so it started January. I was so happy. It was running. It was great. No, my son was driving. It was great, right? And first started out great. It was awesome. It felt so good. My buddy, like the buddy who gave me the engine, it was on his, and my other buddy was on his other sled. It's a old Polaris, and but the one with the phaser, like me, he turned the corner too hard. He was so happy we were all together, and he yanked out his handlebars. I was like, oh shit. So that was a sketchy ride back. Like we stayed with him obviously, right? And yeah, so he got that back on a few days. He welded it back on. It was fine. The next day though, like after he was, it was just me and my other buddy again. I was like, something felt off with that day. I was like, I don't know if I should go out. I don't know. He's like, come on, I'll just do it. And it's like, okay, fine. And so we went out for a bit. I was like, my pull cord felt a little weird though. So I was like, what's going on? I remember my my starter like wasn't working anymore, so I couldn't electric start it, right? With the key. And and basically I was like, just driving around, and I was like, okay, I should probably get home. I think it was almost out of gas, right? So I looked at him. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna head out, bud. Like, I was about to. And he like motions me to come over. I come over, but I was so loud, so I was trying to talk to him. So I shut mine off. And I was like, okay. Like he's like, come on, go for a quick one more lap around. Like we have a pit, like a area where it's like basically in the forest. Right? Like we found there's an opening in it. That's those details I'm gonna get. And yeah, so he's like, come on, just do it, man. Like we'll be good, right? And I was like, fine. Wanted to pull it, and I yanked my pull cord out. I was like, shit. Had to get towed back. Second day I got it running, like after getting it running, right? Had to get towed back by a much weaker sled. Well, his was a bit weaker. I was like, it was so embarrassing. I felt like a dick, right? It was just a bad day. And then, so I had to get a new pull cord, but everything was an online order. So I ordered it from Canadian Tire, and I got it, right? And I was like, okay, sweet. A day or two, we'll be back out, right? Took about, I mean, sad to admit this, it took a month. And the reason is because the skeleton of the phaser, like the chassis, is in an awful spot. Where the pull cord's in, worst possible spot it could be in. And so I was like, I eventually, like me and my dad managed to get it out. And I was like pulling it, no, not pulling it, but I was like doing my thing with it, right? And we were trying to get the new cord in, right? And attach the handle and all that. And what happened was the damn coil in it popped. So the spring for the pull cord shot out, and it's so hard to get them back in, right? That took a few days itself, and it was like it's gotta be so compressed, so tight, right? And it's just, it's not a fun experience. Either way, we got it in eventually. Like we got the thing in, and then I couldn't manage to get the bolts back. Like same thing, right? Like I got 2 or 3 of this 4, right? I think for some reason I was missing one, but I got 2 of them in, and I was getting the third one or something like that, right? And I was like, okay, I got this. I took again way too long. Took off the side panels, took off like a bunch of stuff, right, just to get it on. And eventually, I finally did, right? And then noticed my pull cord, it wasn't going. It was like it was pulling, it was starting, but it wasn't retracting. I was like, now what? I was just saying so frustrated with this thing, right? And it turns out we put the split or the one plastic piece that like basically chooses which direction it goes, like the coil, right? And we put that on backwards, like upside down, so it was going the wrong way. But didn't know that for a few days, and I kept getting so mad. And eventually, we took it back off, switched it, eventually managed to get back on, and basically, like, yeah, like it went on, Sud fired up, and went back in, like, coil went back in, it was good, right? So I put all my stuff back on, and it was ready to go. And so then I went back out, it was a good time, I had some fun, and it's been fine ever since. But just a couple weeks ago, I was looking like around, like I was looking kind of where my sled was, and like for in the winter, and kid you not, I found two of the three bolts that I lost, like that ones I need to get replaced for the engine. I found them. I'm like, are you kidding me, right? There's a month waste I could have been riding, right? Man, 25 minutes, 26 minutes already, jeez. I'm talking about sleds the whole time. So yeah, it's good to talk about it though. I feel like, it's cool. I'll let you guys know more about my life a bit, right? And yeah. So ever since I've been riding the sled, it's been pretty good. Its suspension was kind of shoddy when I got it. Like it was okay, and it seemed to be working pretty well this year. Until the last day I took it out, I kind of was doing some hills and like was a little hard on it. And I'm a bigger dude, right? So well, not hard, but like this body, like the suspension took some hits. So now I gotta replace that. But other than that, mechanically it's fine, and I'm happy for that. Like I'm happy it's running now. It deserved a second chance at life. It had a crap, like it got the shit kicked out of it by its previous owner. And yeah, been talking for a while. Uh, got some. I'm watching movies like usual. Gonna watch Fast 9 tonight. I'm super excited. I've been waiting for so long to watch that. And yeah, I know I said like if you watched last week, I said there's a website I'm gonna use. I know it's obviously illegal. I don't think that's a good thing. I've only 4 years for that movie though, and I know for a fact the only reason watching it on that though, just to clear the record, is that because there's a chance it might not come out in theaters in Canada or at least Ontario, like because it's supposed to come out on the 25th, and our theaters don't open until this third stage of our reopening plan, and we're on stage one, so there's a chance it might miss our theaters. If it's in our theaters, I will 100% go and see it though, twice probably, because it's gonna be a great movie. I just know it's gonna be a great movie. So it's not like I'm gonna, be like stealing money from the franchise or anything. It's saying it shouldn't get me in any crap. I hope. Just keep it on the down low. And yeah, like I think I'll be good, eh? And also, I am gonna buy the DVD when it comes out as well. I mean, I've got the first 8. I'm gonna definitely buy the ninth. And yeah, so I'm really excited for that, though. I'll talk about it a bit next week. I will try not to spoil it, and if I do, I will give you guys a big warning in advance. So, don't worry about that. And yeah, just I guess the next week or two, I'm just waiting to get kind of just get waiting to go to work and then finishing some stuff like homework. And don't worry, I will be like filming stuff throughout the summer still. I'm not gonna just abandon the channel for 2 months. I'm still gonna do the weekly vibe talks, Minecraft Mondays. Maybe not every Monday. I know I missed this Monday, but it is what it is. I mean Minecraft Mondays, I like it, but it does take some time to edit it down, like a lot more. Like these vibe talks, I don't really have to edit much, right? I'm gonna be honest with you because I'm talking. It's like a podcast, right? And like I don't know. That's again, that sounds really lazy, but that's not what I'm trying to do. Like I'm still posting the smaller videos in between sometimes, and like I'm gonna start the movie videos, like the movie reviews or like stuff like that. Whatever I'm gonna do with that, I'll start doing that in a week or two, I think. And I'm not sure. It's just those aren't gonna be a set day. It's gonna be random, right? Or whatever. Like make one, right? And I'm gonna pre-make a lot of videos. I think throughout the summer, like smaller stuff, like not big videos. Probably it's like the smaller ones a bit, so I can just have them ready to like scheduled, ready to go every couple days, just to keep you guys entertained while in between the bigger stuff. because I will have some free time. Like I'm not gonna be working like stupid hours and be like 7 a.m. to like 2:30 or 3:30. At least the days I start at 7. The only issue with the days I start at 7, it was from my first day, ironically, is I'm gonna have to wake up at 5. At basically, maybe a little earlier, because I'm gonna get up, have a shower, make breakfast, drink a coffee, make lunch, right? And then leave the house around 6, and it's a 40-minute drive. And I like to be a bit early, like 15 minutes early, right? So basically, get there like 6:40, 6:45, and then figure out what I'm doing, because I still don't really know for sure. And yeah, like, again, it's gonna be a good job though. I think I'm gonna learn a lot, gonna have some fun driving around a bunch, right? But I don't know. It's just I'm both excited and nervous. I mean, like, yeah, I've wanted to like, it's gonna be a good job overall, but I haven't had a job in a while, like for the most part, right? It's like good summer going in the grade 11. I think was the last like official job I had, and it was at that restaurant. And the one I have now, it's been what, a bit over a year, 2 years maybe, because it's going in the grade 11, and like so that summer, and I am finishing grade 12 now. So it's been over a year since I've had a job, basically 2 years. I mean, I've done other stuff. I made money in between, like side jobs here and there with like my brother or something, right? It's so I've had money. I'm fine, right? But the official jobs I haven't had in a while, so I'm kind of nervous. I know it's first stage it is. I'll be fine. Like eventually, like we'll get used to it. I'll be fine, right? And if anything, it's gonna be. I've got like 20 people doing similar job to me, so it's not gonna be terrible, like too bad or anything, right? And like, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna talk about it a lot, like, as much as I can. It's a technically government job, right? It's a provincial park, but it is what it is. So yeah. All right, we're over half an hour now, and I could probably keep talking if I wanted to. I do want to, but I don't want to make the video like an hour long. You know, like I do, but I don't. And yeah. So I guess that's the video, and I really appreciate you guys like sticking with me all this time, and we're almost at 25 subscribers. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I know it's faster growing channels, but 25 legit almost. My goal is to probably hopefully break 50 by the end of the year, and maybe I boom at some point and get like more than that, get like 1,000 or anything. That'd be amazing. That'd be crazy, right? And yeah, I just like basically what I want to do is just want to make entertaining content, for you guys, be honest with you guys, and make something you guys can enjoy. And yeah, so this video though, like I'm gonna end on that because it's 33 minutes already, and I gotta still do some homework. So yeah, like I said, it's a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you watching, and make sure you stay tuned. There's gonna be a couple other videos coming out this week, and I'm gonna obviously Vibe Talk next week as well. Same thing. Probably Minecraft Monday as well. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good week, I think. So I hope you guys have a really great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.